So this worksheet is on our second classwork for this chapter. So it's Unit 9, Classwork 2, okay, that we were doing in class today, Friday. So on this, we're going to be sketching the angle. We're going to be trying to figure out the coordinates of the point we end up at. And then we're going to answer the question, okay? So on this first one, if I zoom in here, let me do this. Okay. So on this first one, this is a negative pi force, okay? So just so everyone understands, this is pi 6, okay? This is the smallest. This is pi force. This is pi thirds. And then this is the pi halves. So this is pi 6 again, pi force, pi thirds. Negative means we're going this direction. So this is going to be negative pi force right here. So I'm going to draw a triangle, and I'm actually going to use the triangle from here. Okay. I'm going to start here at the point that I want. I'm going to hold the shift, because if I hold the shift, it's going to make a right triangle. Okay. Or you can just draw it. And then I am going to write in the coordinates of that. And remember, your pi force is your 45 degree. Okay, so that this is your isosceles. So this is going to be, hold on, this is a little fat. Let me make it a little thinner. Okay, so this is going to be a positive √2 halves, comma, negative √2 halves because of the quadrant I'm in. Okay, so it's positive x, negative y. And remember, for these, your cosine is your x and your sine is your y. Okay, cosine is x, sine is y. I'm going to move that so it's not on top of that there. So your cosine is your x, your sine is your y. So since we didn't want sine, we want this one right here. So our answer to this question is going to be negative, oops, let me get a pen. Negative √2 over 2. That is what sine of negative pi force is. Okay, now on the next one, we're dealing with pi 6, positive pi 6. So I'm going to be here. Okay, so I'm going to start here. I'm going to grab my triangle. Okay, and I'm going to hit my shift and I'm going to draw it. Okay, and so when I'm here at pi 6, I'm going to scooch it over a little bit. I am going to be here, and this is where you need to remember long, comma, short. Long is √3 halves, short is 1/2. So this is going to be long √3 halves, comma, short 1/2. Now, tangent, remember, is opposite over adjacent. So that means it's basically going to be our y over our x. So let me just do a little, jot this down real quick. So tangent of theta, okay, so remember this was our x, this was our y for our cosine and our sine. Our tangent is y over x. It is my opposite, which is my y direction, over my adjacent, which is my x direction. So I am going to literally put 1/2, which is my y, over √3 halves, okay? And I'm going to do this in a teal color. So I'm going to take my y, which is 1/2, over my x, which is √3 over 2. And when I am taking 1/2 divided by √3 halves, that is the same as 1/2 times the reciprocal. So that's a 2 over √3. And what's going to happen is my 2 on, oops, grabbed the wrong thing here, sorry. My 2 on bottom and top are going to cancel, and I'm going to end up with 1 over √3, but we need to rationalize that. Okay, so when I rationalize it, I'm trying to actually get rid of the radical on bottom. So I'm going to need to multiply top and bottom by √3 over 3. And I'm just going to move on. So I just get this little piece here. I guess it's going to take that here. I'll move it like this. There. Okay. So I am going to multiply the bottom and the top by √3. This is called rationalizing. Okay, you should have seen this in integrated 2, hopefully. So this is going to be a √3 on top, and √3 times √3 is 3. And that's your answer, √3/3. Okay, so your x coordinate is your cosine, your y coordinate is your sine. And the reason that it is that is because literally I'm taking my opposite over my hypotenuse, for example, and my opposite would be my y over my hypotenuse, which is 1. So that's why my sine is y. Same idea for my cosine. My tangent, again, opposite, which is my y direction, and my adjacent, which is my x. So tangent is my y coordinate over my x coordinate. So I had to rationalize, and that's my answer. Okay, so on the next one, cosine of 5 pi thirds. So understand that 5 pi thirds is more than halfway around, okay? So this right here would have been pi. Since this is thirds, we can think of this as 3 pi thirds, which means on the other side, when I go all the way around here and I add another 3 pi thirds, I get 6 pi thirds. And again, that is really 2 pi. If I simplify it, that's 2 pi. But what we want to do with this thirds is, remember when we're doing our thirds, we're going to be doing either 1/3 above, which would be here, or over here. So that would be pi thirds, or over here, 1/3 above, that would be 2 pi thirds. From here, 1/3 below, that would be 4 pi thirds. Or from over here, 1/3 below, which is 5 pi thirds. So we're right here. So let me grab my triangle. Okay. And I'm going to draw my triangle here. And then the coordinates of this, and this is where you want to be careful. This is short, comma, long. Short, and short is 1/2. Long, and it's negative because I'm going down, is -√3/2. Okay, and this time I want cosine. Cosine is your x coordinate, so my answer is 1/2. That's my answer. Okay. Okay, on number 4. Number 4 again is tangent. And so just a reminder, tangent of theta is opposite, which happens to be the y, over adjacent, which is the x. And we are looking for pi force. Pi force would be right here. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to draw my right triangle. Okay. And this is, oops, still in triangle form. Okay. And this is my √2/2, comma, √2/2. And I want tangent, which is your y over x. So I'm going to take this y, which is √2/2, over this x, which is √2/2. So I am going to get √2/2, which is my y, over √2/2, which is my x. And you might want to try to change this to multiplying by the reciprocal, but stop for a second. It's a √2/2 over √2/2. It's the same over same. It's just a big fancy 1. And we used to know in integrated 2 that the tangent of 45, which is what pi force is, was 1. Okay, so that is 1. Cosine of 7 pi 6. Okay, so now when I'm dealing with my 7 pi 6, okay, as I go all the way around to here, this is going to be pi, or 6 pi 6. And if I continue going all the way around to here, which is 2 pi, but I'm adding another 6 pi 6, that's going to be 12 pi 6. And I want 7 pi 6. So 7 pi 6 is going to be here. Okay, right here. So I'll grab my triangle. Okay. And you can kind of see as we're doing it that it was about a 60 and this one was about a 45. So it kind of gives it away a little there if you're using the one from the Cami. If you remember what if you can think about what those angles are. Okay, so right here. And when I say angle, this angle here is 30, but this angle here is 60. That's the angle that I was kind of measuring, but I am at like a 30-degree angle. Okay, so this point right here, okay, I am at long, comma, short. Long, which is negative here, short, which is negative. So long, negative root 3 halves, short, negative 1 half. And I want cosine. And cosine is your x. So this is going to be a negative root 3 over 2. And that's your answer. Okay, on number 6, this is cosecant. Okay, and cosecant is a reciprocal. And what you want to remember, and again, I said this in class, C doesn't go with C and S doesn't go with S. So since this is a C, it doesn't go with cosine. This is going to be the reciprocal of sine. So I'm really taking 1 over sine of 7 pi fourths. That's what I want. I want to find sine of 7 pi fourths, and then I'm going to take the reciprocal of it. Okay, so I'm looking for my 7 pi fourths here. I'm going to do it in orange since I already have pink all over this page. So going all the way around to here, this would be 4 pi fourths. Going all the way around here would be 8 pi fourths. So I'm 1/4 off. I'm going to be right here. This is 7 pi fourths. Okay. So let's see. Let's draw it from here. 7 pi fourths. Okay. And this point is going to be my positive root 2 halves, comma, negative root 2 halves. And I want cosecant, which basically means I want the sine. So here, let me just jot down what the sine is. So sine of 7 pi fourths is negative root 2 over 2. So I am going to take this number right here, and I'm going to highlight it. And I'm going to take the reciprocal of it. The reciprocal of your sine answer is your cosecant. So if I take the reciprocal of that, that's going to be, oops, I'm still in highlight mode. That is going to be 2 over, well, basically negative 2 over root 2. And then I'm going to rationalize that. So I'm going to times top and bottom by root 2 over 2. And when I do that, I get a negative, hold on, I'm going to zoom out a little bit, negative 2 root 2 over 2. Okay, so on top I get the teal negative 2 times the root 2. On the bottom I have a root 2 times the root 2, which is 2. And then I have 2 over 2, which can cancel out, and I get a negative root 2. That is your cosecant, because this number here is the reciprocal of the sine. Okay. Let's take a look at the secant. Okay, so S doesn't go with S and C doesn't go with C. So this is going to be 1 over the cosine of 2 pi thirds. So first I need to figure out 2 pi thirds. So going all the way around here to here would be 3 pi thirds. And I want 2 pi thirds. So 2 pi thirds is going to be here. Okay, so I'm going to get my triangle. And I'm going to draw it. You see down here by the origin, you see it actually is giving me 60, and at the top it's 30. So that was giving me my 60 there. I can kind of see it. Okay, so the coordinates of this, and this is where we want to remember short, comma, long, short, negative 1 half, because I'm on the negative x direction, long, root 3 halves. Now, My cosine is my x-coordinate. So my cosine is this -1/2. I want the reciprocal of that. So I'm going to, whoops, I need to keep highlighting. I am going to take the reciprocal of this, and the reciprocal of this is -2/1 or -2, and that's your secant. Now, one like number 8 can get a little crazy because I'm going to go through here and I can write some of my thirds, but I'm not going to sit here and write 37 pi thirds going around. This is how I think about it, okay? As I go around the unit circle, hopefully you can see this little cursor here. As I go around the unit circle, this is going to be my pi, for example, and then I go all the way back to here. This is going to be 2 pi. And as I continue going around again, this is now going to be 3 pi. And as I continue going around again, this is now going to be 4 pi. So what happens is this was a 2 pi, then a 4 pi, okay, evens. I come back around here. This, which was a 3 pi, is now going to become a 5 pi and so on. So basically, this is what happens every time, okay? On this side, this is going to be your even pi. 2 pi, 4 pi, 6 pi, 100 pi. On the opposite side is going to be your odd pi. Pi, 3 pi, 5 pi, 7 pi, and so on. Okay, now what I'm going to do, so I'm trying to zoom in here, is first off, this is negative, okay, so I have to pay attention to that, it's a negative, but what I'm going to focus on is 37 pi thirds. So I'm going to take 3 into 37 to see how many, see what I get. It doesn't go in evenly, okay, it's not going to go in evenly, but 3 goes into 3 once, okay, which is 3. Okay, so here, I'll be accurate. And then I bring down my 7, and 3 goes into 7 twice, okay, which is 6, and I get 1 left over. So what that means is I'm really at 12 pi and then 1/3. Okay, 12 pi. Now, where's 12 pi? These over here are odds. These over here are even. So don't sit here and count around to 12 pi. I'm here. This is 12 pi. Okay, and actually I'm going backwards, okay, because it's negative. So I'm going negative, but I'm still going to end here. Whether I go positive or negative, I'm going to end here for my evens. So I'm here. And then I had 1, let me emphasize this, I had 1/3 left over. So I'm going to go an extra 1/3, which pushes me right here. So this is where I am. So this is where I'm going to draw my triangle. Okay. So for this, when I need to figure out, again, the coordinates, remember for your thirds and sixths, this is short, 1/2, this is long, √3/2. So this is going to, still in triangle mode. I love being in triangle mode. Okay, so this is going to be, it was short, so 1/2, and then long, but it's negative because we're going down. Okay, now I need to look, and this was sine. So sine is going to be my y coordinate. So it's going to be this -√3/2. Okay, so my answer is going to be, hold on, I'm in highlight mode, -√3/2. That is my answer. That's what the sign of -37 pi thirds is. Okay, on 9. 9 is cosecant. Okay, so again, remember, S doesn't go with S and C doesn't go with C. So since this is a C, it does not go with cosine. It's going to be 1 over my sine of -pi6. So I need to find sine of -pi6, and then I'm going to want the reciprocal of that value. Okay, let me just get my 1 back up here nicely. Okay, so I'm doing -pi6. I'm starting here. This is -pi6 right here. Okay, so let me grab my triangle. I'm going to start here. Okay, we always draw it to the x-axis and it has to be to the origin like that. Okay, so this is going to be long, comma, short. Okay, and I know you're probably sick of me saying that, but I want you to be, so hopefully you know it. Root 3 halves, comma, negative 1/2. And again, this is cosecant, which is the reciprocal of whatever your sine is. So my sine is my y. Okay, this is my y. And then I am going to take the inverse of that, or the reciprocal of that, and the reciprocal of that is -2. And that's your answer. Okay. So hopefully this helps a little bit. We're going to be practicing these. But you need to make sure you really know that unit circle. You need to know where your thirds, your sixths, your fourths are. So remember, again, 6 would be smaller. If I'm cutting this into 6 pieces here, 6 would be smaller. Then I'd have 4s, then I'd have thirds, okay? And then you need to remember your root 3 halves, 1/2s, root 2 halves, root 2 halves. So again, long, comma, short, root 3 half, comma, 1/2. This is your middle one. So this is root 2 half to get to your 45 or your pi fourths. And then your pi thirds, short, long. So 1/2 root 3 halves. This is 0, comma, 1. This is 1, comma, 0. Okay, these ones are all 1, 0 or 0 1s all the way around. Okay, for those ones. Okay, hopefully this is helpful.